Now presenting Mr. Mike Coyne, Governor's Hurricane Conference board member representing the National Weather Service.
Good afternoon, everyone. Our next award is the Tropical Meteorology Award. It's presented to an individual or organization that has made outstanding or substantial contributions to the advancement and knowledge, application, or understanding of the hurricane forecasting and warning process in the state of Florida. Since 2004, Mr. Mike Boylan has been educating people about trends, model runs, and everything else tropical weather related through his website. He does not forecast, but his dedication and contributions to the citizens of Florida and providing tropical weather information in layman's terms, helping to explain what the forecast trends mean and how to follow all the extensive maps, charts, and graphs located on his website, Mike's weather page, aka spaghettymodels.com. The 2021 Tropical Meteorology Award goes to Mike Boylan of Mike's weather page.
Just click on Mike's page, Drunk Donkey Nation. Well, there'll always be some haters. They don't understand. Mike's got a friend and 100,000 more across the land. Well, if you want to know it first and you want to know it right and you want to have time to plan, Drunk Donkey Nation tells your friend, Mike, he's your man. And he's gonna tell you all about the wind and the rain. We're gonna tell you if it's gonna be a storm or if it's gonna be a hurricane. Don't you worry about the news others try to hide. Click on Mike's page, Drunk Donkey Nationwide. Yeah, here on Mike's page, Drunk Donkey Nationwide.
All right, everybody. Good morning. It is Monday. Monday. I think it's Monday. I don't know. When we go live all weekend, I lose track of days. We were live all day yesterday. We did a live in the morning. We did a live at night. We're doing a live now. We'll do one tonight. Not sure the time tonight, so pay attention to that. But we will be live tonight. Watch for an announcement later. We'll catch everybody up on what's cooking with future Francine. Yeah, so we got a lot to talk about. For sure. So we'll keep the hellos short and sweet when we do Tropics Talking when there's a system. Because I'm being rude to everybody. I know there's a lot of folks saying hello, so hello to everybody. I go back and read them. I do, I promise. But I do want to go right into the weather. Thank some people, of course. Along the way, I am storm chasing. We'll be driving. I don't know when I'm leaving yet. So that will be happening. Couple of things real quick. When I do storm chase, listen, you have to figure out social media. You have to scroll. You have to click on whoever person you follow. I don't care who it is. You follow my buddy Dennis Phillips. You only see what they put into your feed. It could be a post from yesterday. It could be a post from 6 hours ago. It might not be the most recent post, okay? When I go storm chasing and I go live, it appears that might be the only thing in your feed. But I promise you, I post more when I storm chase than I do here in my little studio office, okay? So don't think that when I take off, I'm not posting the latest models, spaghetti models, runs, okay? You gotta click my page and scroll and see the post, okay? Otherwise, you're gonna think that I've fallen off the face of the earth here and, you know, but I haven't. So during barrel, I posted a lot. And I stop make sure every 30 minutes I post something. And usually when I'm live, I do live weather updates at the same time now. I can share my screen when I'm streaming live. So I don't want to hear that I don't post anything when I'm storm chasing. Now, when I first started storm chasing, I was bad. And Shelly will tell you I was bad. I got into this mode and I forgot about people at home and needed information. But I promise you that I still post, okay? We might not have a structured daily brew in the mornings, but there will be updates. Promise. So we'll figure that all out for sure. This is our daily brew. So by the way, who's this guy? This is Mike. My name is Mike. Pleased to meet you. I've been doing this for 20 years. Got a lot of great supporters. ABC Fine Wine and Spirits here in Florida. I'm a Florida native, and we really appreciate all that they do. We got a spaghetti model IPA coming out from Tampa Bay Brewing Company. We'll be doing some cool events October 9th and 10th in Winter Garden and Cocoa Beach. So hopefully you see that and you come and say hi and we hang out and talk. ABC's always been a big supporter of mine, and I really appreciate that. We're going to go over a bunch of sponsors that are going to be on the field that have us. We have a very small, intimate group of supporters, and they're all involved with storms, and they're all going to be set up in Louisiana. So we're going to do a shout out here towards the end. This is my website, by the way, and it's got all the information on there. I'm not a meteorologist. For official information, I always refer to National Hurricane Center and NOAA. Sometimes the information I give is overwhelming and confusing, and I highly recommend the National Weather Service or National Hurricane Center when it comes to that. So just to be clear. I don't even have a dog today. Oh well. No dog today. We got to go right into it. So I got some information. Pups are good. I know. If I had a dog, I don't even know where the dogs are at. We'll grab a dog at the end of the show. We'll do something different today. We'll do all weather for like 30 minutes. And then now, here's a little test we're going to do, okay? We're going to start out with all the tropics, all right? I know I'm going to get questions. Aren't you, like, almost mean? Like, why aren't you talking about the Atlantic? Okay, well, first off, maybe I already have. So I'm going to start out by talking about the Atlantic, which is nothing to worry about, okay? So I need to tell you all that, so when somebody comes in the chat and demands why I'm not talking about the Atlantic, because I already did. Invest 92 was red, now it's orange, okay? These are nothing to be concerned about. Maybe the Virgin Islands, maybe Bermuda, but right now there's nothing. And most of our folks in the continental U.S., there's panic in the air. What about that spot in the Atlantic? I got a bad feeling about the spot in the Atlantic. Well, don't. Modeling as your friends. And as of now, this is what I see. Anything that develops is going to curve. All right. Until we start to see this possibility change, then yeah, we'll raise the awareness. But those spots in the Atlantic are going to be influenced by these frontal lines that are coming into play. Once Debbie got here, fronts have started to rule. And that we talked about that with Ian that year with Ian. Once the fronts start coming into play, look at the angle that Francine's taken. That is an odd angle for this time of season. That's because it's got frontal influence. So anyway, Atlantic spots, not talking about them because it doesn't appear that anybody's going to be affected by them. All right. Here's what we do have, though. We got this big old mess. That is a huge low pressure area in the BOC Gulf right here. Hurricane hunters are flying in right now. People asked me yesterday why it wasn't a tropical storm when it had winds of 50 miles an hour, because it didn't have a tight circulation. Okay, there's got to be certain classification for tropical systems. 1 is winds, 2 would be storms around the center, and 3 would be a actual center. And this one had a very elongated low pressure area. It wasn't enough to designate it. So hurricane hunters are in there. They're going to find out if they can find some sort of a guaranteed closed low. This is one of the wind maps that I use. Maybe it's developing a closed low. Then we really sit back, watch, wait, and see. Here's your Texas-Mexico border up here. This is kind of where most of the models are predicting it to really ramp up. So the faster it develops, bigger the problems, okay? So we're watching this thing like a hawk the next day or two as it tries to develop, because all the models show intensification once it gets into the northern parts a little bit more tomorrow. So that's that. That's what we're looking for. We're looking for low pressure. And then it really can start organizing. Here's amazing convection. Now, somebody pointed this out on X, and it's very true. Rarely, I've never seen in years, I can't recall seeing white and black showing up on this infrared floater here, the rainbow floater. So incredible cloud tops. This is all this is showing you. It's got a lot of convection. Okay, not organized yet, but that is a tremendous amount of convection. White and black on this is extremely tall cloud tops, meaning intensification is trying. Okay, that's a lot. Here's another look, just massive convection, blowing up there. It's just crazy. There's a lot of moisture in place, man. And we've been talking about this. There's a lot of moisture in place, a lot of moisture in the Gulf, a lot of heat. And and it's got 2.5 days to try to intensify. So, I'm still concerned about this thing being underestimated by the National Hurricane Center, very much so. Now, here's the cone. This is the latest cone. We did see a track shift overnight a little bit to the east. For new people tracking hurricanes, it's so important not to focus on each little line, especially the NHC track line, which is right here, because so many times these things will wiggle left, wiggle right. The impacts are way beyond the center line, way beyond the cone. Okay, the cone is anywhere that the center of the storm can go. So it's very deceiving. Okay, I see the emotions, I feel the emotions. I know when there's a tiny track change. Yesterday when it shifted a little bit to the west, everybody was, scared, and someone in Louisiana said, "Oh, it shifted, good news for us," and Texas said bad news for us. But now it's back to Louisiana. We get these windshield wiper effects, classic. We're seeing these shifts to the east a little bit. Strong Gulf systems tend to bend east. They end up winning the battle with the high pressure a little bit, and that's kind of what we're seeing. Stronger the system, a little bit more tug to the east. We don't have a dominant high pressure to the north to stop it. We have a frontal boundary that's weakened up the atmosphere some, and that's why we're seeing these little subtle bumps to the east as it gets stronger. So remember, the cone is anywhere the center can go, and we're going to have impacts way outside the cone. The cone has nothing to do with impacts. Latest cone from the National Hurricane Center is this. We get a new one of these at 10 o'clock Central, 11 o'clock Eastern. They're showing a hurricane in only a 5-mile-an-hour intensification here, and then not sure what it's going to happen to here because they don't mark landfall intensification. So there is indication it could be weakening a little bit before landfall because of water temperature and shear and dry air. But I'm going to show you all the models, and the models read things better than we can. So when we see a majority of models saying one thing, then you start to believe, okay? And we're seeing most models are at least a strong Cat 1. Many models are even showing possibly a 2. So very important to watch this in the next 24 to 36 hours as this thing starts to try to organize the next day. So it does go north. There's going to be a lot of flooding impacts north. Remember with Beryl, we had 200 plus tornado warnings. Debbie, we had 120, 30 tornado warnings. You will get tornado warnings. The east side is always the strong side. So yes, Mississippi, Alabama, maybe even Florida Panhandle might see some side. Not only direct hit the east side. The storms wrap around. They build off that Gulf of Mexico. We're going to have dry air coming in from that shear. So the west side of the system will be weaker than the east side of the system. And that goes with surge, storms, tornadoes. And we're likely to see the effects go well inland as some of the models are still suggesting hurricane deeper than what the National Hurricane Center is showing. So that's the latest. We get a new one of these at 11. Some of your impacts, we got obviously the rain's huge. Starting to see double digits officially. I showed that last night. Definitely seeing 10, 15 inches of rain are possible in these isolated rain trains. And what happens, unfortunately, if our system goes this direction, we'll get feeder bands sometimes that'll just linger over one area. And as our system goes north, those feeder bands follow along, and sometimes they'll impact areas. So these maps to me are more of a generalization of like what you can see as a whole. They don't show you individual rains that could be a lot more than what they're showing here in isolated pockets. So definitely they've had a lot of rain up that way. Ground's saturated already, so flooding is definitely going to be magnified more than it normally would be at this time if another type of a system coming in. So prepare for that. Unfortunately, when you deal with this type of setup, this is where the power problems come into play. Okay, you get the winds, you get the saturated grounds, you get the trees falling over, power outages. So definitely we're going to have serious power outages, unfortunately, across this area. A lot of it because of the rain that's already in place. They did raise the flooding potential. Last night we only were in yellow, and we questioned that, but now we're red. So this is obviously flooding potential is getting a little bit more of a concern, and this stretches way up through Little Rock, Memphis, Tennessee, and of course the Florida Panhandle is going to feel it as our bands will make their way in. So yes, you will be impacted, Florida Panhandle, with feeder bands. So that's why you're in yellow. Yellow is flooding chances. All right. Timing. These maps are everything I'm showing you is on my website, by the way, mikesweatherpage.com, spaghettimodels.com. Wind impacts, depending how close this thing gets to the Texas coastline, is tricky. But overall, generally speaking here, Tuesday, 8 p.m., tropical storm force winds start nearing Louisiana. They could be a lot sooner if this system expands a little bit larger into Texas. So as soon as tonight, Monday, 8 p.m. tonight, you can start to feel tropical storm force winds for lower Texas. So there you go. Couple things that's really, got me thinking. We watch Gulf storms over the years. We watched them always overachieve. We've watched them always end up stronger than what's initially forecast. One of the models from Brian McNulty here that I share a lot is this ocean heat content. It's the hottest the water's been underneath the surface. Now, this is the Gulf as a whole, but basically there's a lot of fuel. The hotter that water is below the surface, that's fuel. That's why we're seeing this massive convection. Now, you think about it. When Barrow exited the Yucatan, it was pretty rough looking. The water in the BOC is really not as hot off those shelf waters as they are the more north it goes. So the more north our system goes, it's going to start feeling these deeper, hotter waters. And another thing it's got is this loop current. Okay, this is a loop eddy. It's going to be smack dab over underneath it actually. And these help fuel systems. They're hot. These are pockets of hot water, thousands of feet below the surface. It's a phenomenon. They're rivers that spin, they break off, and they meander westward. Tropical systems feed off of these loop eddies, okay? And this is a current look at what it looks like right now. So our system is going to be over top of that tomorrow. These are reasons that I'm like cautious on this, not being a little more than what the NHC is showing. This is actual heat content. This was fresh as today. You can see the red. This is how deep the hot water is, how hot the water is, and you can see that loop eddy is actually showing up where our system is going. So that'll aid in the convection a lot. All right. And here it is, a live look at it. So that'll be, helping feed this thing. Another thing is the water anomaly map. Now this is on Tropical Tidbits. This shows you that the water temperature, sea surface temperature, is still above normal. We have had a lot of rain in the last 2 weeks over the upper Gulf, and it has cooled down the sea surface temperatures some to almost normal and almost cooler along the shelf here. We have a shallow shelf here as this, Gulf of Mexico reaches the northern parts. And that could help at least stall any strengthening. So there is cooler water on approach. If the system's moving fast, it won't matter. It won't matter at all. You got the warm waters of the bayous. You got the brown water effect. Ida seemed like it strengthened once it hit landfall. Hurricane hunters kind of a friend of mine that is a hurricane hunter kind of verified that. They don't fly over the systems over land, but they theorize that it could have got a little stronger. So yeah, this is tricky. I wouldn't let anybody say, oh, the water's cold and it's not going to do anything. That's not really a significant part of, at least keep it from being one of these systems that just really keep on intensifying, last second. So there is a little good news that it could, weaken a little bit or keep where it's at. But it's really all about what it does the next 36 hours, 48 hours. Now, wind shear is tricky. It looks awful right now. There's all kinds of wind shear going on right now. However, this is on Tropical Tidbits. This is 200 millibar jet stream level. But it does appear tomorrow that it will have a pocket of light wind shear above. And this is the GFS on the right and the Euro on the left. So there's a lot of wind shear now. There's wind shear to the north. This is what it's going to experience Wednesday. But today and tomorrow, it's actually going to be reaching very, very light winds. That's where we can see rapid intensification, okay? Rapid intensification, unfortunately, is real, and it's 24 millibar drop in a 24-hour window. It's possible, very possible, and we've seen it before. So tomorrow is going to be a very interesting day watching in real time for folks in Louisiana. Now, I do post it. This is on my website. A lot of folks don't even know I have a website. I meet people all the time. They're like, website? What website? Well, I have a website. Mike's webpage. This is on the webpage. If you want to know, the old style Saffir-Simpson scale used to use millibars, part of their ranking system. Now the Saffir-Simpson scale is only wind speed driven, but the old Saffir-Simpson scale at least gives you an idea of category strengths. And we've had a couple GFS runs flirting around with 3, 2. A lot of them are in the 2 range now currently. So when you see pressures in the 970s, you get an idea that could be a 2. Okay, and it's kind of a rule of thumb on surge. All right, there's not a full moon cycle this time around at least, so surge will be in the normal ranges. But still, this gives you a good idea when you see a millibar what it could mean. But what we've seen over time, sometimes the millibars don't equate to anything. I mean, sometimes we'll get low millibars with no wind. Sometimes we'll get low millibars with, oh my God, winds, like Beryl. Beryl was a 979 landfalling hurricane just a couple of weeks ago, it seems like, and totally blew me away, literally. The power of a 979 Category 1. So every storm is different. That's tricky, for sure. Tricky. All right, so here's the latest modeling. This is kind of this in your head. Just kind of gives you an idea, how confident the models are. When you have this much model confidence, you got to start believing it. As far as the track goes, pretty darn close. As a matter of fact, I didn't even show the latest 12Z spaghetti models. I had it open and I closed it. Here's the latest Tropical Tidbits spaghetti models. Oh, 12Z's just came out. Okay. So these just got posted a little bit ago. High confidence on the track. So we rarely get high confidence 2 days out like this. This system, we have the confidence on the track. Okay. The confidence is not on intensity right now. But there you go. There's the latest. Let's see what the latest intensity models are here. These just came out too, and we got quite a few in the 2 range now, so you can see the uptick on the modeling too. So there you go. That's the latest on that. All right, so the actual models, Fest 973 and Overnight Korean, which I really like that model, the KMA 967. So they're all showing middle Louisiana landfall. Obviously, don't focus on that as much because the east side effects will be great. depending on, how far this thing goes to the east, surge could be a big impact towards Mississippi, in lower Louisiana. Everybody's asking me Mississippi. Well, this thing tracks, even with a lower Louisiana landfall, you're going to get wraparound surge, okay? Remember, it's not always about the landfall, especially the east side will see surge, and that surge could reach, I don't know how far it can reach. It could reach Florida, Panhandle, some. It could. Mobile, yes, it could, yes, for sure. So this is it. High resolution models. These aren't 18Zs, so we're gonna look at these together. These are all overnight. I did these early this morning. So these are the last night's overnight 00Z model runs. They run around midnight, 1 o'clock in the morning. Basically telling you the same thing. Halves A 963. The strongest H-Wharf 985. So it's Cat 1 strong, then more. H-Mon 973. These are winds. These are 10-meter winds. These are 850 winds. Sorry, these are 850. So a little more dramatic, but it gives you the idea. I mean, not Cat 2 winds, pretty strong. But this again shows 4 models pretty darn close in the same location for landfall. And we're going to look at the latest ones here in a second. This is an interesting chart that I use a lot. This shows you the current conditions dated the 9th of September. It's just a theory showing you the lowest pressure based on current conditions that a system could be, not this system, just the atmosphere, environmental conditions. And it is showing that this thing could be low 900 millibar. It's not predicting that. It's just saying the atmosphere could hold that. So, and as far as category strength, it's showing it could handle a 5. Okay, so you just got to be careful in believing that this is not going to be anything. The atmosphere can definitely support it if everything else lines up. So, a lot of people like to come on the page and say, water's too cold. It's not going to be anything more than a rainstorm. Well, tell that to the folks that experienced Beryl just a few weeks ago and had a lot of damage and a lot of power outages. Coffee's still got a little warmth in it. That's good news. All right, what else we got? This is an interesting model. Don't even really know it. Never really seen it. But it's a model that Andy Hazelton posted. It's a intensity model. Basically just showing you that percentage ranges here for rapid intensification are in the red, which is 50% chances of a Cat 2 to Cat 3. Just one model, but showing you that. This is the same model run that runs worst case scenario intensification, and there are quite a few showing. And an important thing to note is this model doesn't show any sort of intensification really here or really here, but they do here, and this is what we got to worry about. We always worry about last second intensification, the border northward, that we could see something really pop. So this is where the NHC always is conservative, and I really. Ships models back down to a 1, so that's good. They use all the models, but again, all right, so let's look at the latest 6Z models and see what we got. So here's the tropical tidbits. These are all your latest hurricane-specific models. So my little soapbox about these models yesterday. All right, so I didn't share them. I didn't share them for a reason, because they were lost, and I've never seen the operational models so consistent and the hurricane model so lost. So I was like, I'm gonna let them figure things out, and they have figured things out. So, but what was odd with the Hurricane Center discussion yesterday on their first advisory, they pretty much dismissed the operational models, and they went with the hurricane models, which were confused, believing them. Well, now the hurricane models have believed what the operational models are showing, so I'm really surprised that they're keeping this thing 80 mile an hour hurricane, honestly. But here's the latest. These are 6Z. All right, so H-Wharf's 1. This one is showing landfall middle Louisiana, about a 977. So that's still strong Cat 1. Nothing too bad. Now here's these feeder bands setting up. These are going to be your surge. But We're looking at the basic landfall and intensity here, the latest. All right, so HMON's another one. Let's look at that. HMON is showing a 976, 975. So there's Texas, Louisiana line. Your HAS A showing a 970 system. These are all Wednesday night, by the way. 970, a little stronger. 969 on approach. Pretty strong. That's, could be Cat 2. HAS B showing a 965, a little stronger yet. So 961 on approach. So that's pretty low. That's a big drop in pressure here on its journey from where it's at now. And here's some of these bands that are going to be getting awfully close to Texas. This is tomorrow afternoon. Depending how close this thing shifts to the west will determine if any of these bands actually reach Texas or not. The HWRF showing that for tomorrow. That's why we have watches up for lower Texas, and we'll probably have probably all Texas is going to have some sort of watch or warning at 11. Because of these feeder bands that are going to be coming in. There's a couple feeder bands coming in. Obviously, this is more Wednesday morning. This is Wednesday afternoon. All right. So there's that. Let's look at the latest GFS. GFS is showing 984 here by the Texas-Mexico border. And a little slower now, 983, 973. Here's that last second strengthening, 973. So, they're all coming in pretty hot. We'll see. The winds, the winds have to catch up to these pressure drops too. So that's why Barrow was different, because it was surface winds were there. Debbie landfalled exactly the same pressure, 979. Debbie didn't have the winds that Beryl did at the surface. They might have had it, above a little bit, but the level of damages from Beryl at a 979 were way more than Debbie at a 979. Debbie was the flooding, though, that was the bigger story for a lot of folks. And we got a lot of heavy rain. And if that maintains itself going north, it's going to be a lot of rain for somebody. Regardless, there's 979. There's New Orleans, just off a little bit to the east there. So as this thing keeps that pressure gradient, once it goes inland, 988, you're still going to see winds. This is almost Thursday morning. You're going to feel it. I mean, it's going to feel still powerful the next day. It's going to work inland. We see inland effects surprise so many people because all the focus is on landfall, but we still have a deepening system as it goes to the north. As we get into Arkansas, and Mississippi, you're going to feel it. You're going to feel tropical rain bands, and you're going to feel power outages, and you're going to feel tornado. We're going to have tornado warnings north, big time, guaranteed. Always do. Now, there is dry air. This is what the big question mark is right here, okay? On approach, it's got a very moist atmosphere. It bubbles itself up, kind of fights off the shear, the dry air. The question is, obviously, does any of this dry air wrap in around our system and help weaken it? And you have to trust the idea of the models at this point. Most of them not really showing it. Again, if it's not slowing down, it won't feel it as much as it makes that landfall, especially that cooler water. It really won't matter. So the big question mark always has been, does this dry air get wrapped around our system and deteriorate the eye? And it could happen. A weakening system sometimes is not as impactful as a strengthening system. But 973 is still a very low pressured system here, with obvious effects way to the east here with the moisture coming in off that Gulf of Mexico. So that's the big question in play, is that dry air and how much it's going to weaken our system, along with wind shear. There is wind shear ahead from, here's simulated satellite, by the way. Wow, it's always choppy looking, doesn't look the best. But Let's see what the euro shows here. Latest 6Z euro does show a little weakening. So the latest euro 975, pretty strong, does weaken it a little bit, 983 on approach. So the euro is reading a little bit more weakening. Still strong, Cat 1. So, So good, if there is any good news, I mean, one is there's a chance it's going to weaken. There's really not anything showing major 920, 30, 40 hurricane, So there is signs of goodness as far as a major hurricane. But there will still be effects, trust me. All right, so that's the latest euro. What else we got? Icon showing a 980 system right here, and you can see the effects here. Obviously, let's go zoom in on rain bands. Wednesday night, you can see these rain bands are coming in off of the east side. And you can see that big bubble of rain almost reaching the Florida Panhandle over Wednesday into Thursday. And this is where it could get tricky. This could be, these could still be tropical feeder bands feeding up into our low that we typically see. So that's why you're not going to see something out of this parts of Florida Panhandle. This is early Thursday morning on the latest icon. GFS showing similar, I believe. There's your kind of rain bands coming in Thursday as our system pulls to the north. Euro, kind of the same thing. See that? Still could have a pretty strong little feeder bands Thursday. So even though our system's here, this is the areas that can still see some strong storms. Because the Gulf of Mexico, these things will be feeding, there'll be low pressure, you get shear because you get, tighter pressure gradients, and you get a lot of tornado warnings. So I would expect I could see tropical storm watches even in the maybe Florida Panhandle a little bit, possibly. We'll see. They might stop it right at the state line, but it'll be interesting. This would be Thursday morning, still a few days away. They don't issue watches until 48 hours out, so we won't know maybe yet what they're going to do, but that's interesting. That's a crazy little look right there. The EIEIO model, the Euro AI has done a phenomenal job. It's showing strong Cat 1 and pulls it north, 995 pressure still. That's still strong. Still going to be inland impacts into Mississippi. Still going to have these tails coming up here towards the upper Gulf Coast as it pulls on out of here. So we really don't have any higher resolution models than that. We can look at the H-Wharf parent. These are all on tropicaltidbits.com, by the way. Close up of that, but it'll be the same look. So, two more models we'll look at here. We always look at the KMA and the UK. UK, you okay? And we'll look at the Gulf. And the UK is showing landfall middle Louisiana with the biggest impacts off to the east. Not too strong on this one. And then the latest Korean KA showing almost the same location, a little stronger. So there you go. We'll see. They bumped intensity up a little bit, I have a feeling. It did back off, though, quite a bit, actually. It's down to 990, so that's a big swing from last night. Last night it was showing 967, so yeah, Cat 1 strong, maybe 2. They always tell you prepare for one more than the official. That's at least what the state here does, at least. And we'll see the big trends here on weathernerds.org was the 18 or the overnight 6Z here. These just came out too. No, these just came out. All right, so here's the big swing. These are the European ensembles, and pretty much, high confidence, obviously here. Big takeaway is this right here. This is your colors. These are your strengths, basically, and it's not. The euro's not expecting development until it crosses the Mexico line here. Then we have that big window of opportunity for strengthening tomorrow. So that's kind of the theme. What it does tomorrow on that turn back north, east. The GFS 5-day showing you the same thing. These are GFS. Not much development here, but here, yes, So that's where we're going to watch for that. What else I was going to show you? Oh, the steering maps are really cool to look at. This is old school steering maps. Basically showing you this. High pressure system has been dominating across Florida. That has allowed our system to turn north, and our frontal line that's been lingering is creating that turn back to the northeast. So it's all around this strong high pressure system. That frontal line has broke that down. It's lifting our system northward. There's an opening, and that front's been in the picture for like 2 weeks now. It's crazy that this front's been lingering, allowing the system to lift and turn. So the little bit of trends you might see to the east are a little bit stronger systems. Stronger systems end up winning the battle against the Bermuda High. We see that a lot. We see storms turn a little bit more east than originally expected. So stronger system likely would probably go tick more east than west. They all do that. We've seen that. And a 10-mile shift can be huge. We don't have any surge maps yet. Oh, we do. They're starting to run surge maps now, so I'll link these to the site. So we're starting to get some surge maps up. And these get updated as the track changes. So any changes, and I know some folks from Cameron up that way, and I'm sure they're getting ready to evacuate and get all their stuff and gear here. But, here's New Orleans. I mean, close. We'll see. This, as the system moves north, they'll start adjusting these a little bit more. So it's a good tool to have at your fingertips. And there we go. I don't know. So that's it. How many questions did we get during we're talking? So coffee time. So I got Brian Burdine over here. Let's do some throwouts. I got two sponsors in our MWP chat. So Brian's company's Mooring USA. They're based out of Texas. They do disaster restoration, and they do a lot of corporate work too. So they're going to be heading that way. They do a lot of post-storm cleanup, and great family company. I met Brian, and Brian's going on our cruise in June. So another one that's in our chat, Greg Montgomery, Furman's Fast team, always there to support, and they have been big supporters of ours for a long time. Many of you MWPs are Furman generator owners, and cheers to that. So they are a great company and great friends of mine. So they'll be riding along with me as I got my 0E in the back seat and my little Whisper 2000 in the back, ready to power anything that needs powered. Tammy Kent, I mentioned. Oh, they're getting calls. They're going to be on the scene. They are your damage assessors. They're the first ones that actually point linemen in the direction to go. So they're professional damage assessors. They're the ones that, when the storm hits, first ones out there letting the power line companies know where to go. So they're going to be on site. She's on her way. This Lodging Solutions here is going to be setting up base camps that just fascinates the heck out of me. This is tent cities that open up overnight for thousands and thousands and thousands of workers. They supply bedding, tents, trailers, food, everything, totally everything. They feed linemen, they sleep them, they got showers. A lot of emergency personnel uses them, more than just linemen. So they'll be there setting up, guaranteed. They're based out of Texas too. So that's 4 companies that'll be there. Pretty amazing, right? We'll all be there. We'll be there. I'll be there. So yeah, Houston's a little more off the hook. We'll see. Probably be tropical storm warnings, I would guess, because of the feeder bands. I guess kind of coming clear now. We'll see what the discussion says at 11. So David wants to know Cat 3. Well, I don't know, man. You don't want to guess without some sort of support. I mean, if I tell you what, we would have a major, if it got organized today quicker than was expected, it would have more time. So it's now battling a little bit of time. It's going to have 2.5 days over water. So the faster it develops, the quicker it can, continue to develop. It's all the models are expected to develop from that Texas-Mexico line northward. So kind of pretty much what it does today till tomorrow, midday tomorrow. So it's pretty much got about 30 hours, 36 hours before all models expect it to become organized. So we'll have to see today what it does. That would be my only caution, would be the faster it organizes today could spell bigger trouble down the road. So I just don't recall ever seeing this much convection, though. That's just unbelievable to see that white bubbling like that. That's usually an indication of lowering pressures. It hasn't even gone over that loop eddy yet. So that's massive. Not really a storm. It's a big blob right now. And you can see these cloud tops just continue to burst here. We've got some outflow now that we didn't have yesterday. You can see that spiraling out of there. So it's kind of getting that look, honestly. I mean, it's kind of looking, believe it or not, all y'all long-time hurricane chaser, follower, weather people, that actually looks pretty darn decent, if you ask me. Didn't look like that last night. It didn't look that overall organized as far as the structure goes. So this will be interesting to watch today. And lightning always indicates strengthening systems. So yeah, we'll see, man. Leave it to the professionals. Always trust your local EOC, emergency management companies. Listen, they are going to be your source. People ask me all the time, who do you trust this time? If you're in Louisiana, pick a favorite meteorologist. They're on it 24/7. Find somebody you're comfortable with. They will be there for you. Always trust the National Weather Service. They're going to be on it. But more importantly, your local counties and states. Local county emergency management will have all kinds of information on evacuations and that. You should know your zone by now. You should have hurricane kits prepared, have some plan where you're going to go. A lot of shelters do not take pets, so you do your homework ahead of time now and, decide where you might go if you're, in an evacuation zone. So I always trust your local EOCs, and that's emergency operations centers and your local state governments at this time. So So we talk about long range tracking and possibilities, and once it gets time where it hits the fan, then I'm just passing the baton to the officials. All right, Joseph, significant tornado threat. I don't think anything significant other than just history tells you that these things have tornadoes. Okay, lowering pressures, low pressure. Barrel, 200 plus tornado warnings. Debbie had 100 plus tornado warnings. Now, whether or not they verify is different. However, tornado warnings indicate a strong thunderstorm regardless. So there's going to be a lot of feeder bands coming in off of the Gulf of Mexico. The water is a little cooler, but not that cold. We will be live tonight, yes. Don't know what time exactly. Lots of convection on radar, Eric. Yeah, buddy. 9 p.m. Okay, Shelly, 9 p.m. That's what I thought we talked about. So we'll be live at 9 p.m. Eastern. That's 8 p.m. Central Daylight Time. Misha wants to know about path change. Very little. I don't see hardly very big track changes at this point. Wiggles can make a big difference, though. 20 miles can be huge. Laura's surge for Lake Charles was expected to be more, even though the winds were bad enough. But a 20-mile track shift can't be predicted. And this is an odd direction for upper Gulf. Most of the time they're coming around. This is odd. So we might see things we'd never seen before with impacts from different angles, Be interesting. But anyway, I'm going to Louisiana, Nikki. Yep. And anything else goes. What's the track I think, Robin? Well, middle Louisiana is pretty darn, isn't it? I don't see any steering mechanisms. You look for steering inconsistencies and, but not really seeing any building high pressure. We got a frontal line to the north. You can see the outflow going along with it now with that front. Sometimes these fronts help systems too. It's freaky sometimes. When you get a front to the north, sometimes it'll actually ventilate at the same time. So it could be, but that is a lot of convection regardless, man. That's just crazy convection. And once it gets over those loop eddies tomorrow, it'll be even more interesting to watch. I don't know if it can maintain this much convection, but it has. And it's pulled in all that moisture from that front. So, anyway. Always trust. Oh, Edith, 274, David. I'll do that, buddy. But always trust your Natural Hurricane Center. Remember, I'm just a hobbyist. Meteorology is my passion. I love, self-taught. But I just give you advice and what I see and, give you some modeling data and share all the cool links that are out there to follow along. And but when it comes down to it, we always trust our local counties, local Mets, and National Hurricane Center. So that's all I got. I do not talk about individual areas and definitely don't talk about evacuation advice. That's not my cup of coffee, for sure. So yeah, radars, coast would be helpful, Brad. Okay, yeah, let's see what we got. I have one down here. I guess I should put it up top over here. The only one I got from National Weather Service is this one. But I can zoom in. Listen, I do have a link here. All weather sites. Well, actually, we can do it like this too. So here, listen, I need to do that. I need to add it. So we go here. think we can pull up like Galveston here, maybe. These are your feeder bands coming in. Actually, let's do I don't know. I wish we had more of a regional radar. I can't spell it today. Well, let's just try Texas. I don't know if we can just do Texas and they'll all pop up or not. No, these are all Texas cities. I got links to individual radars. I mean, all these are scannable. If you hit MRMS radar, this is really cool. National Weather Service radar that's linked now. You know, I got the Google radar site, which is always good. This one has a track involved with it, so so there you go. There's a track. We'll get a new update on that, and we'll see. Rob, I think the only thing we could see would be a little stronger system would be tracking a little bit more to the east. Yes. You can kind of see this on the European thinking here on the ensembles. The yellow lines are a little stronger, so a little stronger system might bend a little bit more to the east. Don't forget, there's some really awesome links here too. We have Berg guidance, Tang guidance. If you're wondering what that means, these are last names. But Tang guidance is really interesting because you can go back and look at trends, okay, like track changes. So our 6Z track change here, these are your spaghetti models, but then we can go to official trends on the National Hurricane Center. And you can see how the National Hurricane Center has changed their last three, 5 o'clock, 11 o'clock, 5 o'clock Eastern. First 5 o'clock advisory last night was light blue. 11 o'clock shifted east, and then 5 a.m. shifted east again. So you can see the NHCs shifted their track quite a bit in less than 24 hours. And we can look at this, all the models. So the Euro hasn't run that many runs yet. CMC has shifted east. HMON, darker blue has shifted east. The darker blue is the most recent. You know, there's your HAS B is shifted east. HAS A, big time shifted east. So you can see how all the models have kind of, well, GFS has done the best. It's been pretty consistent. UK, pretty darn consistent. Consensus models have shifted quite a bit to the east. So originally they were almost Texas-Louisiana line. Windshield wiper here back to Louisiana. So those are good. We can look at ensemble plots and look at, you know, where they're at, and you know, we haven't had enough NHC updates to really get mean error verifications yet. I don't think we have none. So we have to have 24 hours of model data to do that. Another good site is the Tang. That's what we just did. It's the Berg, Tomer Berg's guidance. And this is the one that you can do supermodel plots. This one will do all the ensembles together, and you can see general pretty tight consensus, believe it or not. That's pretty much all of Louisiana in the blue, with the UK the farthest east, but that's fun to play with. The other modeling he's got spaghetti models too, but these track density plots are cool to look at, and you know, so you got all kinds of tools to play with here too. Super ensemble plots, everybody posts these online. I just show you that one, but you can do ensemble means and get the little circles and get kind of a range of where all the ensembles are going. And again, it's high confidence, believe it or not. We got Track on Zoom is a really popular website. You can go on here and see winds and current looks, stuff like that. You can see endpoints. We can see microwave imagery is not updated yet. That's odd. Wonder why. Oh, we haven't had 24 hours of mine limit. So we're gonna have a new wave map. We can do that, buddy. Brad, I'm glad I saw that. Let's try to think. I got my paid side. Tropical Tidbits has it too. So go to Tropical Tidbits, go to current storms, or go to forecast models, go to Euro, zoom in to the southeast here and go to lower dynamics, and you can get a wave height map and kind of get an idea right there. So there's kind of the peak showing, 22, 3, 4, 5 as it approaches. So not surge, it's just waves. The Sierra map might be updated too. There's another surge map I have here, Sierra Coastal Risk. And it shows you live time data on surge. I don't know if it's official or not, but you can see the current thinking on surge, Morgan City here, with a lot as this water gets pushed up. And you can click on it over here. You can get, I think you get it over here. Nope, I forget how to do this. If you do that, yeah, then you can click on estimates. And it's showing 5. So this is a good tool. If the system's a little stronger, this will all increase too. But notice how the surge is to the east. Obviously, landfall for sure. Very little to the west, all to the east, and we're seeing surge all the way to Mobile. A little bit here, 4 feet possibly here in near Gulfport, Biloxi. We got surge maybe into Mobile here. 3 foot plus. So, and you're starting to see a little increased water here through Pensacola a little bit too. So it's a cool tool. I'll put that link. I need to put the link a little better. Did I put surge guidance? Maybe I did already. Surge map detailed. Yeah, it's right here. Surge map detailed. Here's another cool one. This NWS winds, waves, and gusts map. You can use a slider bar here and kind of get an idea what it could look like with winds, and zoom into your location a little bit more and look at wind gusts and speed and rains. So it's a natural weather service tool. It's helpful to kind of give an idea what to expect, and that's based on again, I think the forecast. If the storm's a little stronger, it'd be a little more. If it's a little less, it'd be a little less. So, new cone comes out about 30 minutes. So, there you go. Thank you, Miss Bobby there. Is that Bobby? Bobby? Did I see your name? Thank you, Robin. Thanks, Sarah. Eastern time. Yeah, 11. So, 10. That's right, Chris. You're right. This could be the third 979 landing hurricane. Burrow was 979. Debbie was 979. This could be 979. Hey, Mike Soul. I got your books, buddy. I'm glad I saw you. I think Shelly thanked you, but Mike Soul's a longtime follower on YouTube, and he mailed me the Farmer's Almanac because I told him I've never looked at one. So now I have next year's. So never looked at one. Hell, maybe I'll put it in my truck so I can do some accurate weather reporting. But thanks for that, Mike Soul. So yeah, we're just giving information, everybody. So hopefully it helped out. And I don't know what tomorrow's schedule is going to look like, but I am heading out. Yeah, Nettie. I think we're going to be live in the morning. This thing's slowing down a little bit. That'll give me enough time to get there. Might be hitting up my boys at Golden Nugget for a room. He always texts me. My mom's texting me. Hey, Mom. What's up, Mom? Welcome, Cheryl. Christopher, yeah, I don't want to. Yeah, you're right. I mean, the water temperatures and rapid intensification, I guess, it really all depends on how tight this thing gets today. It's still elongated. We're not seeing like a really, really strong signature at 500 millibar. So, there are signs it's not really vertically stacked. Even we have that, amazing burst of convection going on right now. I guess if we did get like a center relocation to the west, could shift the models to the west. You kind of don't go against so much model support because of steering conditions and what the models are seeing. But as any time with tropics, nothing's ever 100% official. But we have a lot of model confidence, it seems like right now. The 850 is a sloppy mess, honestly. Ooh, not as much as it was, though. That's a little more model spinach. So the Hurricane Hunters are out there. We'll see what they say. It'd be interesting. Maybe we'll get Francine at 11. There's a decent little low there. I mean, this is what is that? 22.8, 94.5. So 22.8, about right there. That's kind of where they're flying around right now. Francine at 11. Hey, Johnny Weaver. Nope. Hey, Johnny. Is that my... What's up, buddy? Johnny Weaver, you're the storm chasing buddy. Are you going, Johnny? Yeah, I need my truck. Plus, I can keep on reporting weather. I got my Starlink mounted now. It's on the roof. We'll just keep it right there. See you in LA, not Los Angeles. David Wright, convection is really popping, big time. Not organized, just popping convection. So, model that shows passage through storms in that location. DIS Media. I mean, there's really not a model. The Euro AI apparently takes storms in the same situation from their database and it applies to this storm. So the Euro AI is supposed to use past storm information to predict. So yeah, just we'll see, man. Dale, you might be going too, man. Are you crazy? Sherry Pie, the speed. Well, the Ford speed's only like 5. How's the lightning, Corey? Good question. There's a lot of lightning right now. A lot of lightning. You can go to Weather Nerds on this one. I like Weather Nerds. It's got light. Oh, that's big. You can do it right there now. You can start to see it in the picture. But the lightning is the little white dots here, and you get a lot of lightning right now. It's just a blob right now, honestly, though. It's not really... It looks scary, but it's really not anything right now. But it is kind of got that look. But it doesn't have... Well, I don't know. It's really kind of looking like a system right now. But there's your lightning. And they're going to have periods of, up and down. It's just been persistent. This has been persistent. Almost like a little eye trying to pop right there. I saw that. I don't see how that could be an eye. Wouldn't that be... No, that can't be an eye. That's just a... Let's see if we got a nice zoomed in... floater here. Such an odd storm. And it's so much convection. Yeah, it's just not an eye, but still odd. It's a little dot there. $22. What did we say it was? 20 what? 22. 22. Good morning there, David. Yes, we were just there, David. The circulation is very evident. I'll be damned. That's almost where the center's at. A little to the north, actually, though. But there's a little hole in the convection, but who knows? Yeah. So you can see it, though. It's just still kind of attached to that frontal line, but still, it's trying. 850 is looking pretty healthy. There's our blob. Oh, anyway. So, all right. We'll be live tonight at 9 p.m. We'll see what it does. I'll be posting all day. Guaranteed. We'll get a new update here in about 30 minutes. Then we'll have another update at 5 p.m. So we'll have a new track at 11 Eastern, 10 Central. Another track 4 Central, 5 Eastern. We'll be live at 8 Central, 9 Eastern. Not fully stacked yet, Caddy. Correct. I don't see much 500 millibar yet, too. So it's really not that healthy, honestly. It's trying, though. Look, we're getting a little bit of 500 spin. Trying. 700 is usually the next step. Oh, it's looking a little better at 700, too, but it takes time. We will see. Chrissy, thank you. Thank you. Invest 92. Nope, nothing to worry about. It's already down to orange and it's turning away. So I owe you I do owe a dog. Okay, where's the dogs at? Let me find the dogs. Julie, you got the dogs? Okay, I forgot the dogs. Hey, buddy, come here. Come here, Hunter. Come here, Hunter. Alright, it's a 2 for day. BOGO dog day. I forgot about the dogs. Can't believe it. Alright, so we got both dogs today. We'll do this with both dogs. We'll say goodbye. We'll see how they do with me holding both of them here. Alright, ready? Big lift, Louie. Come on, you can do it. Ready? 1, 2, 3. I just can't get a good position. There we go. There we go. There we go. There we go. Dogs are in the scene now. Louie's like, I ain't doing this. Sorry, Hunter. All right, we'll put Hunter on the lap here because he's like sideways. All right, this is Louie. This is my boy. This is the original, 6.5 years old. We started chasing weather as a puppy. He was an infant on our daily brew, and now he's 6 years old. So he's the original. He always yawns. And every day doing weather, they sat next to me in a box when they were puppies, and now they're pretty laid back dogs. Couldn't ask for a better one, that's for sure. So he gets bored pretty easy. Good morning, Loretta Reed. Halloween costumes, Miguel. Yep, it's that time. It's that time. We dressed them up. One year was the little rocker guy. One was the Chucky dog, remember? He does move around a lot. He's actually real. All right, now let me show you Hunter. And then we'll go. We got a lot of weather to update here in a second. This is little Hunter. He's actually 4 years old. I can't believe it. He is so little. One of the littlest Frenchies I've ever seen. And he likes to take after his big brother. He sits there very, very astute. Is that a word? He puts his chin up, and I don't know what they do. They do the same thing. They both just kind of like pose. Anyway. He snorts a little bit. He kind of purrs like a kitty cat. Brian, I don't know where, buddy. I really don't know what I'm doing, man. I don't know yet. Don't know. Probably east of it, you know. I mean, eventually we'll have to make our way to New Orleans and then go a little more east, probably, or a little more west. Yeah, I just don't know. I guess I've been there before twice now with Delta and Ida, so I kind of know the roads very well. So yeah, we'll be texting you, man. All right, cool. Well, you can always go back and watch it. I put this on the website, and YouTube, obviously, Facebook, and X. So I appreciate everybody for tuning in. I hope you got a little information that can help you, and keep your eye on this thing. A lot of folks watching initial forecasts, and they turn their backs on it. So this is one to watch real time, especially in the upper Gulf. The next day, we'll know a lot by tomorrow on how strong it's going to actually be. But you never turn your back on the Gulf, that's for sure. All right, so we'll see you tonight at 9 Eastern, 8 Central.